Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another Fuse AMA session. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you're all doing really well out there. And don't forget to like, share, and smash the subscribe button. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep saying that over and over again. Just do it right now, and then we can put that to bed. So I hope everyone is holding up out there amidst one of the roughest patches. It's been a bit of a wild ride. You can also see this morning that Kraken announced some layoffs, so it really doesn't look like we're at the bottom yet. So hold tight, everybody. A lot of fun still to come by the looks of it. But the show must go on for those with a laser focus on building product. So this week we've got M. He's the co-founder of wallet-to-wallet chat platform, WalletChat. He's going to be here today to talk about the platform, the recent integration with Fuse, and a lot more. So how are you doing today, Em? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm kind of tired, to be honest. Have been losing some sleep this week. Not because of FTX, actually. Luckily, just been really busy building, and like despite the bear market, there is a lot going on for us. So I guess I shouldn't complain. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. You're busy, but it's in a good way, right? And you're tired because you're building amazing products. So it's a positive.
Exactly.
Thing. But all right, cool. So before we jump in, and I've got a whole bunch of questions about WalletChat, I want to just give everybody like a kind of 411. What is WalletChat? So it's a very simple wallet-to-wallet chat app. The concept is really super simple. You log in with your MetaMask wallet or other wallet connections, and you can instantly send messages to any other wallet owner using their wallet address or their ENS as well. So there's no third-party identifiers, and nothing is needed to facilitate those messages. So WalletChat say that it's becoming everyone's one true source of identity in Web3. So we wanted to get him in, have a chat, and see what these guys think about the future of wallet-to-wallet communication. So before we do that, though, man, I really would like to get to know you a little bit, Em, and like how long have you been in the crypto space? What's your personal Twitter all about? Because that seems super active. And you just seem to have a lot of in different pies. So tell us about yourself a little bit, man. How did you get into Web3?
Absolutely. Happy to give you a bit of a context. So like my first foray into Web3 was in 2014 when I bought some Bitcoin. And like you can guess what happened next. It went down like 80% right away in the next 6 months. So I was like, "Fuck, this is over." so that was like sounds familiar, I guess, these days.
Soft landing into the world.
Exactly. So that was fun, but I was pretty busy at the time, like building startups. But in Web 2, I was at a Web 2 PropTech startup, which I joined at the pre-seed round, and I stayed there for about 4 years until we were entering Series B. So that was like a really, really nice startup ride before I got into crypto full time. And then after I left that business, then I really fell down like the crypto rabbit hole full time, which was about 2 years ago now. And yeah, as you said, like I've been up to a couple of things. Like I was pretty active in a number of DAOs, like Bankless, Jenny DAO, in like a number of non-technical roles. And oh yeah, you mentioned my Twitter. So at some point, I just basically started to share my like ideas and takes on the space. And actually, I would say a lot of them are quite contrarian. Like a lot of the stuff I've been saying goes kind of against the mainstream narratives. And I was just doing it for fun, but at some point, it started to get quite a lot of engagement with some people. So that was interesting. And yeah, I'm still kind of keeping it alive, though I'm spending much more time building WalletChat these days.
Sure. No, I saw your Twitter and like, it's fun. Like it's a fun Twitter to follow for sure, man. So you've been involved with quite a few projects in Web3 in the last couple of years, right? And this is not a new space for you at all, I'm guessing, right? And you said you're on a non-technical side. So your work is mostly marketing, sales, influencing. What's your kind of side of work?
So my co-founder, he's the CTO, so he leads the dev team and he does all the coding. I don't do that. I do the talking, right? So that involves sales, partnerships, investors, hiring the team, growth, marketing, just the whole stack of things.
Couple of bits of the
Couple of
job.
bits. Yeah.
Couple of, all right, very cool, man, very cool. All right, thanks, Em. I really appreciate you kind of telling everybody where your background is, because one of the reasons we do these shows is to just let people understand who founded these products, who's behind these products. So it's that's one of the main reasons to do the show. So thanks for that. So why should people care about WalletChat? Like, what does it do? What kind of everyday uses can people get from it? I know there's quite a lot here, so perhaps we should go step by step and unpack the different things. But first of all, tell people what WalletChat is. What does it do?
Absolutely. So as you said in the beginning, like, the idea is very simple. We allow basically the owner of one wallet to connect and communicate with the owner of any other wallet. Like, that's the basic idea. And then there is a lot of nuance layered on top of that. Mm-hmm. But if you're asking why should people care about this, it comes from my and my co-founder's personal pain point in the space, which is, like, more often than not, people that you're interacting with in Web3, you always know their wallet address because that's always public, that's on-chain information. But usually, like, that's all the information you have about them. You don't know their Twitter, you don't know their Discord, you don't know their Telegram, and even if you do, like there is no guarantee that it genuinely belongs to the person. Someone just might be scamming you, and it just results in all sorts of issues. So we just, like, our light bulb moment was just, very simple. Let's just fix this, and let's just allow wallets to communicate. So that's the idea. And then if you're asking, like, specifically, like, what are the use cases where it actually matters? Like there are a few. Like, we kind of keep discovering more of them every day, but I think you can just give, like, a couple of quick examples to illustrate it. So one of the most obvious ones would be, like, I'm on an NFT platform, let's say OpenSea. I'm looking at an NFT, and it might not even be listed for sale, right? It might be like unique NFT, it's not listed. I'm really interested to figure out, would the owner ever consider selling it at any price? What are they thinking about it? So, like, how do I contact them? That's one. That's one pretty obvious use case. Another one is maybe I'm just transacting with someone. Like, I want to send some tokens to a wallet. How do I verify that wallet? How do I make sure that the wallet belongs to the person I think it belongs to? So maybe I just send them a quick message first. They message me back. That could be another one. And maybe I will give you one more. So from, like, a community point of view, let's say I'm a community manager, and I'm running giveaways, or I just want to do some sort of a user support linked to the wallet of the person that's interacting with my dApp or protocol or DAO. So again, like now I can do it in a Web3 native way using WalletChat.
Very cool. Quite a few, like you said, quite a lot of nuance there is what you can do with it. And like you said as well, people will find new purpose for this as well, because ultimately it's just a messaging service, right? So the NFT trading side of things is very interesting. I think that's something that currently isn't really possible. So do you think that, so if people are able to sort of transact with each other, so they can have a conversation, but can they then they can make a deal for an NFT as well? What's going to happen with, like, platforms like OpenSea, and would they just be like directories of NFTs, do you think, in the future? Do you see where I'm going? Like, if you guys become super big, how does that work with platforms like NFT marketplaces? Do they just become galleries, or how do you see that?
I see what they're saying, and it's a very interesting question. I think my take on it would be, like, I'm thinking what happened with eBay and Amazon. Like, yes, eBay allows P2P transactions, and there's a big market for it, but it hasn't really destroy the market for Amazon. Like, I think on the contrary, like having both options, it just increases the user base and like the range of options that you can have. So I think like what I suspect, probably the NFT space is going to evolve in the same way. Like there will be a big market for just peer-to-peer outside of the marketplace, but I think still like the value proposition of having one engine which allows you to search an NFT, communicate with the buyer, and also click, like there's still going to be a pretty powerful experience, and definitely. I think there is going to be space for that.
Definitely, I can see them sitting actually and working together really well. So that's very cool. I like the idea of being able to communicate with someone, as you say, with an NFT. It's not up for sale. It's just something you like, so you can initiate a conversation quite easily and simply there as well. So what about the kind of, okay, so that's the kind of like consumer side of things. So for people like me, I can use these functions every day. That's very cool. How about the kind of dApp integration side of things? Like, how's that working? Are you focused on a kind of B2B solution as well? Like, how does it work for dApp builders? Can they integrate WalletChat?
So you're kind of reading my mind. Absolutely, yes. So we have actually released a couple of products in the last 6 months. So like the web app and a browser extension that just individuals can use to message one another. Like those were our first 2 products, and they're still live. But now we have actually realized, like, hang on the B2B side, like supporting dApps and solving their specific pain points. We think that there's a massive opportunity, and we are exploring that very heavily. And what we have done on that front is basically we have 2 things that we're offering to dApps at the moment. One of them is an API which we have opened up. So if you're a dApp, you can build your custom front end, custom interface, and functionality on top of WalletChat if you want to use it as a protocol. Or if you don't want to spend your precious dev time doing all of that, we have built a widget which is kind of like looks like Facebook Messenger or Intercom. Is a pop-up widget which sits on your website, and in like 10 minutes of adding a couple of lines of code to your dApp, you have added social functionality, user-to-user messaging, and in the future even like user-to-dApp support intercom-like system. Yeah.
That's really smart. Like, I can see the application. I'm thinking about blockchain games. I'm thinking about things like that. And I'm thinking, and metaverse application as well. Like the messaging side of things is going to become so important, especially in some of these blockchain games, which are actually like tactical games that require groups of people to operate together. Is that a kind of category you guys think will be important for your service, or is it more DeFi? Like, tell us what you think about that.
It is a few different things. So like NFT marketplaces that you mentioned, that's one very interesting target client. We're talking to a few. Then wallets themselves, that's a really interesting target as well, because at the moment, all that wallets enable is financial transactions. But why wouldn't they allow social interactions as well? Like that's just going to open a whole new frontier of options for them. So that's very interesting for us. And actually, the third one is games. You're not wrong. So we have been talking to a couple of games, and you're right about what you said. In that context, it's much more group centered. So in an NFT-based game, you might have groups of people that hold a similar NFT, and they're teamed according to that, and they might need team communication, stuff like that. So we have actually built some building blocks for NFT gated group communication within our app now that can solve that.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So lots of application, but yeah, some verticals seem to be more apparent than others as well. So you guys must think then that sort of Web 2 messaging is a bit rubbish. It's not really great. And I'm kind of thinking like you guys think the Web3 messaging will take over, and that people will need to, their wallet will become their, like the most important thing in their life. So they will need to interact and they will need to communicate. But in your, I mean, number one question, do you guys think that, obviously you do, but like Web3 messaging will overtake app-based messaging like Telegram and WhatsApp? But what more specifically do you think like the mass audience will care about here? Will it be security? Will it be privacy? Will it be both? Like, what do you think people really care about when it comes to messaging?
Great question, and I think my view might be again a little contrarian to what many other people in the space are saying. But just by observing people in the space right now, like how do we communicate? The crypto community, our main tool is Telegram, right?
Yep.
So I think most people are not even aware that Telegram is not end-to-end encrypted by default. Like there's a setting where it can be end-to-end encrypted, but it's not, and most people don't trigger that setting. And like the people that care. Yeah, and like all of these people building cryptography tools in the Web3 ecosystem, like they don't care. They don't even realize, So like, if I think about that, like, is the average Joe like gonna care? Like, is that gonna be their main reason to adopt? Like probably not. But that's not a bad thing. I think there is just gonna be a different driver for adoption of this kind of tools, but it's still gonna happen. And I think the driver is just going to be the same driver that drives the adoption of any kind of app, which is just like, is it solving specific pain points for me as a user?
Yeah.
And to that, like at the moment, the pain point would be, like at the moment it's specific to people in the crypto space already. And I think the pain point is, as you said, like my wallet is becoming the center of my identity. Like increasingly, instead of using like Google sign-in or Facebook sign-in, I'm using wallet sign-in to interact with all the dApps. And so it makes no longer sense to be using like one of those former tools for communication if that's becoming the center of my identity where everything lives. So I think, the more like Web3 tools consume the Web2 space, the bigger the crowd which needs to use this is going to become, until like eventually, I don't know when, like I think it might take a while, maybe it's in 10 years time, it's going to eat like most of the Web2 tools.
Right. No, I agree with you, man. I think that's a strong point. I think it will take some time, but if wallets are to become our everyday, most important thing in our life, and they do need to be able to do everything, right? Not just look after your money. You need to be able to fully, like WeChat, I suppose, like the Chinese WeChat. It's kind of a one-stop everything. You can do everything there. So I can see that as controversial. Okay, cool. So one question I have to add is about the fees, because if you're sending a blockchain, a message on chain, is there a fee for this? And then what blockchain is the message? Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. So the good news for users is that sending messages is absolutely free. There are no fees involved, no gas fees. Yay! So and it's exactly. And how do we achieve this? So it's because the messages themselves, they're not on chain, they're off chain. So the workflow is you do sign in with your wallet, you do sign a transaction initially to verify that you're the owner of the wallet. So it's provable that you're not impersonating someone else. But then after that, the messages are off-chain. We leverage IPFS for storage, but we have realized that if we do try to put every message on-chain, like fees is one thing. Obviously, that's not going to be fun, but even the speed and user experience, it's not going to be great. So this just makes more sense.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I saw, that you kind of redacted away any of the kind of heavy blockchain information. Like, to me, when I saw the website, it just felt like a messaging system that, yes, it's different, but you're not trying to explain it in some complicated blockchain way. So I quite like that, actually. It was really good. That makes a lot of sense. So running on Fuse, I mean, it's exciting to see such a product arrive on Fuse. And, you know, what does it mean to you? Like, we've got a laser focus on payment. We want to get into traditional payment methods, and that's our kind of ambition. So what does this mean to be integrated with Fuse, you know, and do you have any plans to kind of get the word out and help Fuse?
Absolutely. So I guess one of the things we're really excited about is just tapping into the Fuse ecosystem of dApps and be able to offer them the integration with WalletChat messaging that I was talking about earlier. And we are already making some progress on that. Like we've got some projects with some Fuse ecosystem dApps in progress, which I don't think we're able to announce yet, but yeah, stay tuned, hopefully soon. So that's going to be exciting. And I guess overall, I'm just, you know, grateful to Fuse for, like, at least for now, being one of the first chains to really recognize the potential of the social messaging use cases of blockchain and being willing to, you know, integrate it before, right, like really before most of the other blockchains have gone there. So like head off to Fuse for that, and I think that's going to be just an exciting thing for the ecosystem, hopefully.
Absolutely, I can see the dApps in the Fuse ecosystem. Pretty excited about the idea of being able to facilitate WalletChat, and yeah, it's a cool addition to the ecosystem for sure. And if there's anybody out there listening that's building on Fuse, then if you want to reach out to WalletChat and talk about integration there, then you can reach out to them on through their web. Yeah, reach directly to M, actually. So there's his Twitter there, so you can just reach out to him there, and he's always on Twitter by the looks of it. So yeah, he'll be there. All right, cool. So I mean, WalletChat as a kind of idea is not something brand new. I think you guys know that as well. But who are the kind of main competitors to WalletChat? Why is WalletChat positioned differently? Why do you think you guys have got a better chance of kind of entering the market and making a difference? Like, what do you think?
So that's a great question, and yes, I'm not gonna lie, we're definitely not the only ones building a solution in this space. And like I wouldn't actually frame it in a sense of who is better than anybody else. Like I have a lot of respect for all the other builders, and like the way I would conceptualize the space is that the space is going to be huge, and I think there's going to be a lot of different niches to occupy. Just like in the Web2 messaging space, like you've got Telegram, WhatsApp, Messenger, Discord, and like, I don't know, even Intercom is a messaging tool. They're like a lot of different tools, you know, serving different markets and meeting different needs. So I think that's going to be the case here as well. So that's one thing. And so in terms of that, what we've been trying to figure out is like, what should our focus be and how is it different from everybody else? And from what we are seeing in the space right now, so I think a lot of these apps, they're trying to be like the next Telegram or the next Discord. And like okay, that could be something that happens to us in the future as well, but it's not really our immediate focus. What I was saying just now is like our immediate focus at the moment is how can we serve dApps and how can we meet their specific needs the best. And what we have realized.
Sorry, I was just thinking your product users through dApps, like arguably once dApps start to integrate WalletChat, then users like me of dApps start to see that, and then, you know, it's kind of a different kind of marketing, isn't it? It's like B2B, I guess. So it's a different distribution strategy. So a user like you know, might not even need to be aware of WalletChat or download anything or go to any website. WalletChat is just going to be there in like whatever is the favorite dApp that you're interacting with. So it's really
so like
cool,
what we have.
Sorry, go on.
Go on. I was just going to say, so like the main implication of this strategy is, you know, we just have to be laser focused on solving the pain points for dApps themselves. And we have been having a lot of conversations with dApps in the last couple of months. And I think like the most recurring pain points that we have discovered are just like how do I allow my users to communicate with one another or with the dApp itself without losing the user and taking them into another like interface away from the dApp. Like so we want to help the dApps increase engagement instead of the opposite.
Sending them off elsewhere. That's a really good point. Like if you're trying to run a competition or something in a dApp, the majority of the time you see that you're sort of funneled off to Discord or funneled off to Twitter. And as you say, then you're leaving the dApp, which is bad in terms of kind of retention in the dApp itself. So doing it your way makes a lot of sense as well. Yeah. I think so. The biggest pain point for dApps is just that kind of in chat. They just want users to be able to communicate. But then you said as well, like the kind of customer service kind of chat could be facilitated with this as well, right? That could be something new as well we've not seen.
100%. So actually, this is not something we thought about initially at all. We were just thinking user-to-user messaging. But then we started to launch some of these pilot projects with some of our partner dApps. We have helped them implement user-to-user messaging. And then the next thing that the dApps start requesting from us of their own accord is like, well, wouldn't it be nice if we can also, provide user support, answer their questions, like from the same widget, instead of sending them into Discord, having them pass verification and find the right channel and like going through all that whole process. So
and Discord is how to say Discord. I'm not the biggest fan of Discord. I would openly admit that. And I know a lot of people who really don't like it, and for new users, I think you're so right. Keeping people in one place is extremely important. You don't need to be sending them off elsewhere. You're just losing their attention, aren't you? So yeah, I think it's a really strong point. All right, cool. So I think one other thing is in the past, I've seen these kind of wallet-to-wallet chat platforms, and they cost money. They're quite expensive. You're sending, and they're keeping everything on chain. So you're basically spending money to send messages. And for me, I've always kind of seen that as a barrier. I was like, well, I can send them for free on Telegram. So I'm not really going to change. So I think that's quite a good thing for you guys in that it's not costing people money. So it's quite important, I think. All right, dude. I want to get a bit theoretical for a minute. And I just want to kind of pick your brain about where you see. So the blockchain space and the crypto space, for me, we've seen some really strong trends over the last couple of years. For me, it was like DeFi, then it was yield farming, then it was governance tokens, then it was NFTs, then gaming. Where do you think, or what do you think is going to happen next? Is it going to be like a combination of everything? Or what do you think is going to become really important over the next kind of 12 to 24 months in our space?
I have two views on this. So first of all, like what I have observed so far, like whatever is the thing that people expect the most to be the next narrative, it's always something else. Like we like we had the DeFi summer 2020, then everybody was like, "Oh, so next year like DeFi is gonna kill it." And like what happens next year, we get NFTs, like right, something completely different. So I think it's just really difficult to like predict these hype cycles in the short to medium term. So I wouldn't really dare. But then there's another way of looking at it, which is like through the long-term lens, which is what I always prefer as a builder, or like even if I'm an investor. Like I just like to reframe the question more along the lines of like, okay, in 10 years time from now, like regardless of what's the main narrative, what's gonna be the product that I'm gonna have a real need for as a user. And like if whatever I'm building or if whatever I'm putting my money in fits that bracket, then I feel like that's important enough to pay attention to.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I like the idea of looking at the longer vision of it a bit more. I think, but you're so right. Like we had a DeFi summer, and then a kind of death of DeFi. It feels to me like it might all start to come together, but who knows? Who knows? Like you say, dangerous to make.
It will, but but the way it happens, it's gonna be like it's gonna be like a weird path with like lot of turns. It's
it's not going to be a straight line, right? It's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to see because we're about to go into a new year. I'm quite interested to see what people really pay attention to next year. I'd love to think that DeFi can break through as a viable alternative. I mean, let's talk about FTX for a minute, man. Like we can't avoid it really. So like you know what happened. Everybody knows what happened. Do you think that it gives more strength to the argument for decentralized finance, proper decentralized finance? I see this as like a helping thing. Obviously, it's terrible, but it has helped.
Yeah. Like you're not wrong, and like a big part of me wants to say yes. Like if you look at it through the lens of logic, like this exactly validates the need for DeFi, on-chain transparency, all of that. So like I hope and pray that in the long run, this is going to give DeFi a boost. But I guess like the but is that if you look at how people are reacting to it and how the space is responding, like it's kind of far from logical, I would say, unfortunately. And like lot of people really lack the understanding of like what's even the difference between DeFi and CeFi, especially like the more mainstream you look. And if you read what the SEC is saying and like the people that will be in charge of regulating this, like I'm not 100% confident at the moment. Like they understand what what the differences are and they're going to approach it in the right way. So like I hope they are, but I don't know.
It's a really good thing it's also something on my mind as well, is how much do they actually, when generally when people don't understand something fully, they tend to go hard on regulation, right? Let's clamp it all down until we understand, and then we can release as we come to understand, which is quite scary. But I mean, we'll see, man. I'm not making any predictions, but I'd like to think that a lot of newbie crypto users got a very harsh lesson, perhaps about, not your keys, not your crypto, something people like us knew forever. But even hardened veterans, I think, got caught out in this problem. I think this time those yields were just too juicy. I think on the big lessons learned. But yeah, interesting future for sure. All right, cool. So I think we've gone through all the kind of main functions, but WalletChat is quite a new platform. So tell us a bit about what you can do with this version of WalletChat right now, and then perhaps what your future plans are for the near future as well. So what can people do today, and what would they potentially be able to do in the future with WalletChat?
Absolutely. So I guess to sum it up, if you are an individual user, you can go to app.walletchat.fun, and in our web app, you can message any other wallet address, any other ENS directly without paying anything, as we discussed. Or like what's even more interesting, if you hold any NFTs in your wallet and you're connecting to WalletChat, you are automatically joined to token gated group chats for those NFTs. Nice. So it's kind of like simplifying Discord. So you can do those things. Then yeah, if you are a dev and you want to add social functionality, a social layer for your users, then you can use our website widget. I think you can share some links to that later on, or you can use our API to build on if you want. And that's kind of like the package of tools that we have live at the moment.
Nice.
And then so the question is where do we go from here? We've got a pretty rich roadmap actually by now, because mostly just based on things that people or dApps have been requesting. Okay. And maybe I'll just mention a few of them as a teaser. So like one of the very obvious things is spam prevention. Like this is what always comes up in conversations. So at the moment, we're working with lead protocol, and you will be able to use on-chain data to set up who can and who cannot message you based on all sorts of on-chain things. Like you can say the wallet has to hold at least one ETH, or the wallet has to have interacted with the same smart contract that you have interacted with. So I can only receive messages like from my circle of dApps, stuff like that. So that's one. And then, yeah, what we briefly touched on earlier is the intercom like user support. So that's pretty high in our priority list as well. We have started building this. It's not live yet, but hopefully, yeah, that's going to see the light in the next couple of months as well.
Nice. So lots of work ahead. So more busy days.
Lot of work for us to do. Like I'm not gonna be bored. I'm not worried.
Oh, we're never bored. Like let's be real. Okay, so
in crypto, you're never gonna be bored. You're right. Yes.
Every day I wake up and I'm just checking my phone, like what craziness has happened today, basically.
Same routine. Yeah, I open Twitter and I just scroll for like half an hour, and that's the start of my day.
But your tweet yesterday about living in a simulation, like working in crypto sometimes feels like living in a simulation for sure. Like it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Maybe we are. I don't know.
It's a good point. Man. But yeah, okay. So we talked about future plans. We got some roadmap plans. So if dApps, two things. So where can people? So the links are out there for kind of people like you and people like me to learn more about WalletChat. That's cool. How about dApps that are thinking about they listen to this and they're like, oh, that's nice. We would like to integrate a chat feature. How can they reach out to you, man? Like, what's the best way to kind of start that conversation?
Same thing, really. They can reach out either to me personally on Twitter or to WalletChat on Twitter. For both of the accounts, the DMs are always open, and we always respond, even if you're a builder that hasn't started building yet, and even if like maybe your proposal is not super interesting for us, like we will at least respond. We will give you that respect. So please don't be shy. And also what you can do, so if you go to our website, walletchat.fan, like right at the top, there is a link to our widget, demo and documentation for dApps, which like gives you a pretty good overview already of what it is. So you can also just have a look at that.
Nice. Okay, well, I'll add all the links for everything we've spoken about into the description of the video. So anybody listening, it's all below in the description there for you. So I guess that's kind of it. We've wrapped up. We've done, I think I just want to thank Em for joining me today. It's been really nice to talk to you and get a better idea of what WalletChat is all about. Honestly, I was quite excited when I started researching and digging into it. So it's been great to find out more. And yeah, anything else, Em, you want to get out there before we end the stream? Maybe just say thanks to people. Not sure.
Well, thanks to you and to Fuse for having me. First of all, it's been fun. It's been fun, and yeah, thanks to the whole community of WalletChat that has been supporting us so far. I think like it sounds a bit cheesy, but I mean it when I say it. Like I think our community has been super engaged so far, and we wouldn't have gotten where we are now without them. So they deserve some credit.
That's it, man. Like all products and services, they need users, right? So people need to be excited by what you're doing. So the community means a lot. Absolutely. Not cheesy, just truthful, I think. Very truthful.
Yes.
I like it. All right.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for joining me today. If people want to learn more about WalletChat, all the links are there. They've integrated with Fuse Network, so soon we'll be highlighting that. I think we've got an article that's being launched today with more information about that as well. So exciting stuff ahead. So thank you again, Em. Thank you everybody for watching and taking part. If you want to unpack any of the topics that we spoke about today, the videos on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter, you can just go there and take your time and unpack everything. And as I said, if you want to reach out to Fuse, or you can reach out to Em directly on Twitter, ask all those questions. We will try to answer those for you. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much, Em. Thanks for your time today. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll